welcome to another episode of Imminent Peril, the creatively chaotic role-playing, storytelling, survival chaos game. So much chaos, I had to say it 3 times. I am Aaron, creator of Imminent Peril. My guests, please introduce yourselves.
Hello, I'm Ben. Play video games, make videos, and love playing Imminent Peril.
And my name's Steven. I'm the Nashville board game guy, and I love people. I love playing board games with people. I love talking about board games, and I just love hanging out. So, yeah. Also with TableTop vibes. Check that out.
I am Daniel, the Huzzah King. I like board games. I like painting miniatures. I like hanging out with the Nashville board game guy. He makes really great waffles and great conversations and great tiddlywinks. So, yeah.
Oh,
Well, you heard it here first, folks. If you want good waffles, find Steven.
Yep.
come on over.
So, we will kick off our scenario. Today, we are starting in an enchanted sports park inhabited by distractible jumbo jellyfish. So, enchanted sports park, distractible jumbo jellyfish.
So, an aquatic sport? Is that what we're looking for here?
Yeah, I like that.
What does it mean, distractible? Like
Like a squirrel, like easily sidetracked.
Okay, so it's just like, oh, I'm over here. Okay.
Yeah.
I was
Like,
like-
what's that?
It's like, what,
Yeah, so
what do I do with that word?
we pulled the debuffed quirk, so all of the options we could have had here make our menace slightly less menacing, but
Okay.
definitely more silly.
Distractible Jellyfish. Come on, let's go. I love it.
Yep.
I have yet to play Pinata something, but I am excited for a different day.
Yep.
All right. So, aquatic sports park of some kind. That makes a lot of sense. So, like, the whole thing is underwater in some fashion.
Yeah.
So next, we all as a group kind of have to take these pieces and create a scenario that like blends these elements together. So the reason I jumped the gun there is like, well, sports park and jellyfish, unless these jellyfish are like floating in the air, I was like, well, maybe we can come up with a water sport. And I was actually kind of thinking like water polo, because that sport both fascinates me and terrifies me.
Uh-huh.
Are we
I don't
riding
know.
the distractible jellyfish?
Ooh.
Maybe we all have like rubber galoshes, and it's
I wouldn't
a
recommend
high
it.
stakes.
Rubber galoshes. Okay.
Oh, so sorry, I jumped the gun myself a little bit there. We'll each choose where we are in this situation. We're not we don't have to describe where we are or what we were doing yet. We're just adding more and more details until we feel like there's
world
like a
makes sense.
robust and connected
Okay.
situation that we're starting in. So would you guys like to add any details, elements?
I think my character, I'm a professional Marco Polo player, and I got lost. I got to the wrong place. I thought I was going to go to a professional Marco Polo, arena, but I got sent to the Jellyfish Aquatic Park. So, and I don't know what to do. I mean,
It's been a long-term problem at this park. Problem with similar signage. Fighting for attention on the advertisements, yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of liked the so we have an element here for enchanted,
Yeah.
and so this version that Aaron was talking about, like riding the jellyfish in water polo,
Ooh.
it like made me think of like Hogwarts, like kind of like Quidditch. Like this is like an enchanted sport, like
I like
arena.
that.
That's
So are
actually
we like
cool.
fully underwater then? Like we all have something that lets us breathe?
I imagined it as a pool. just
Okay,
to,
so like
have
we're above
more-
water and then the jellyfish are just below the surface?
Sure.
Okay. I like that.
Okay.
Are we
Yeah.
talking like arena-sized pool, like
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
watching?
like hockey arena or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, and you have people in the stands. People are like concession
Yeah.
stands, and they're rooting their own favorite team. What are the teams that are playing? Like, what's the name of these teams? Is it multiple
Yeah,
teams?
that's a
Is it
good
just
question.
2 teams?
Maybe it's a free for all. It's like 1v1, several at the same time.
Yeah, it's like a joust.
Yeah, it's a
That
blood
old
sport.
arcade game joust. where
Jellyfish
they're riding
joust?
ostriches. Yes,
a jellyfish.
Jellyfish
a
joust.
jellyfish joust. Yes.
I like that. But definitely no teams. We're definitely all on our own.
Yeah, all on our own. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a free for all.
I like that. Yeah, I would say like it makes me think of BattleBots. So there's like a lot of built-in aquatic hazards, like
Okay.
not necessarily controlled by each other, but just aquatic water cannon fires, and if anybody happens to be there, they're just launched into the ceiling or something.
There could be whirlpools, and there could be like
Oh, yeah,
electric dangling wires, like loose cables, because it wouldn't hurt the jellyfish, right? You got to,
But it zaps
care
the
for the animals,
player.
but it would
Wow.
zap us. Yeah.
Okay. So we don't have to fill in like every possible thing, but now that we've instigated kind of this idea that there's the whole arena also contains like just built-in automated hazards that'll
like
be easy
it.
to play off of.
Yeah.
All right, Daniel, did you still want to stick? Are you good with where you set up your character as a lost Marco Polo player?
No. Well, for me, I'm going to be in the concession.
What was that?
Steven's the lost Marco Polo.
I'm the
player.
lost
Steven,
Marco
dang it.
Polo.
I'm sorry.
I'm in the concession stand, munching on some oysters, crab, shrimp. I
But
guess
you're
that's
not-
what they would.
Of course.
They would
You're not with
serve.
us on the jellyfish, Daniel?
No,
You're
man,
just
I'm
eating
watching from the
popcorn?
stands. I'm here supporting like, Grimfang, the jellyfish rider. I don't know.
His favorite rider, Grimfang.
My favorite rider, Grimfang. I follow him
good old
everywhere.
number.
I have
Good old-
the little flag and
Yeah.
his emblem on it, and
I love the idea that seafood is the food of choice for the standees too. That makes a lot of
just eating
sense.
shrimp and barnacles and whatever it is.
Barnacles, that takes a long time to eat
I
up.
have no idea. I'm just. It's enchanted.
like-
This is an enchanted world. I mean, come on, we can
Yeah,
do whatever we want.
it's like the jawbreaker of the sea. You just chew on it forever.
You can flip.
It says on the wrapper, the jawbreaker of the sea.
Yep.
like it.
Yep.
So
That's just good branding right there.
that is. Oh, wow.
right.
Okay. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing this.
Well, I would be hard pressed not to be a player. I think I must be a galosh wearing jellyfish polo player.
Okay. I'll be in there too. I'll be in there with you.
For clarification, Steven, are you in there accidentally like
Accidentally.
you haven't noticed yet and you're still like just shouting Marco Polo with all
Exactly. I wandered in to the pool. I don't see, all the crazy cannons and things, and that I'm totally focused on, finding my polo. And
Perfect.
yeah, and I just so happened to, kind of sit on a jellyfish,
There you go.
Just kind of
Just
wander and
wandering.
sit down on it. But I'm still calling out Marco.
It's part of like the enchantment. If you're in the water, you get issued a jellyfish.
Yes.
Just automatically
Yeah.
drawn to you.
Kind of bing. It's like a little almost at the ride, just kind of comes up.
I did want to
Yeah,
add.
jellyfish.
I feel like with these enchanted sports, like whenever you see things like this in movies or books and things, there's like always elements of danger. So like with the jellyfish being distractible, I'd like to think like even the crowd that watches is somewhat at risk. Like at any point, jellyfish could just decide they're not into it anymore and move on like to another section and leave you stranded. Like I think that we should make them as chaotic as possible and
Yeah.
not very wrangleable.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Unpredictable, distractible jellyfish.
Ben, have you added yourself?
Yeah,
to the...
so I'm gonna be I'll be a player, but it's actually a ruse, and I'm a magical animal rights activist who is trying to break the jellyfish free from their containment and views this blood sport as an abomination.
Just come in and try to leave one jellyfish at a time, freeing them.
Yeah, it's like while the action's focused at the far side, like the camera's turn, I'm like escorting a jellyfish out a hatch or something. Like, yeah, that's my goal.
Leap the side. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. By the way, I'm
Hey.
gonna name myself Jonathan. Get it? Jonathan.
Oh.
Sorry.
No, I like it.
I feel like now I need a name.
Jonathan.
I'll be around the shock resistant. Not that I actually have shock resistance, but it caught. I wandered one too many times into the electrical dangling wires, and the crowd loved it. All right. So you guys are purposely added to the story before you get to see what your ability cards are. That way it doesn't influence your choices of character. So now, whoever your target is, you have to continue that player's story, putting them into some kind of immediately life-threatening danger. There's one big rule with regards to putting people in peril: free will. So only you can decide what you say, think, feel, or do, which means even though other people put you into peril. They should only kind of like loosely guide your character. Take what that person said they were doing last and just continue it forward a little bit. What you should not be like making big decisions or like disfiguring their character as part of just putting them into peril. You should be walking them right up to the line of they're about to die, and then the rest is their problem.
Awesome.
All right. So does anybody need a recap of what their target was doing?
Maybe, yes. There's a lot of information floating around. So a recap is always good.
So I was Aaron the electrically resistant or something like that. I'm just one of the players out in the arena. The water's currently calm, waiting for the game to commence.
Yep. And I am also a player, albeit not experienced in the way of jellyfish jousting, who is trying to save the jellyfish.
And I Jonathan just wandered into the water, and a beautiful, distracted jellyfish just kind of popped up out of nowhere. I'm calling out, and I just kind of slump one leg over, just like I was meant to. Like, it's just normal.
It was meant to be. It was destiny.
Just
sitting on a
feels
jellyfish.
And of course, I'm just in the concession stand stuffing my face with shrimp and other sea-like creatures.
Barnacles.
Well, in the stands or at a concession booth?
I would say that I'm in the stands and probably up front.
Okay.
Yeah, really close. I won't get seats.
You're in the splash zone.
I am in the yeah.
Oh, man.
Right.
I'm in the you might die zone. You know.
So, do you guys need me to give an example of what putting somebody into peril kind of looks like, or otherwise, like, okay?
Yeah.
So for example, well, what we would normally do is everybody has time to think, and then when you're ready, you put your card upside down. That way, everybody has time to think, and then we go in a row. But an example, Huzzah King, being so close to the front row. You've been dribbling a lot of your concessions, like crumbs and delicious tidbits have fallen into the water in front of you. And it has drawn the attention of a few of the players' distractible jellyfish. So you see a bunch of the players having come a lot closer, and they start tipping backwards as their jellyfish tentacles are like reaching over the thing and trying to find the source of the food. So you're about to be wrapped up in jellyfish tentacles.
Nice. Okay.
All right, so then for us three, we can think about what you're going to do to your target. When you guys are ready, if you just click on your target card, it will flip over, and then once all of them are flipped over, we can keep going. All right, so we've got all our cards flipped, and Aaron already went. Aaron, do you want to do a recap since it's been a bit, or do you want to just...
a quick recap. A bunch of the jellyfish underneath the players are climbing their way over the lip of the stadium to try to get at the source of all these num-nums falling into the tank.
Got it.
And that's affecting Daniel specifically, the one eating all the num-nums.
Num-nums.
All right, so I have got Aaron, and Aaron is the shock resistant, right? He's well known. It's not his first rodeo in this jellyfish joust, and he's a fan favorite. And so while they're waiting for the games to begin, people that are not fans of Aaron, rival schools and viewers, they have figured out to test his shock resistance that they like to hurl coins at him at the beginning of the game to try to get as much metal as possible nearby so that he stands a greater chance to be electrocuted during the match. And unfortunately, what ends up happening is so many coins are piling up around him and sinking to the bottom of the tank that the jellyfish Aaron's riding becomes distracted and sees a shiny, and it immediately dives down as fast as it can swim towards this pile of coins, which Aaron is attached to and is now drowning because the jellyfish is down there and just counting through these various shiny objects that the crowd's throwing at him.
Wow. The jellyfish saddle 3000 is not my friend this go around.
I imagine falling off would be a pretty bad thing in the jellyfish joust.
It's
right?
true.
So,
yep.
Does anyone know, sidebar, and I might be hurting my case here, are coins even conductive? Like, I didn't know.
I think they are.
They're not necessarily magnetic, but they are absolutely conductive.
Okay, all right. My story has a little bit of credibility to it.
It's got a little weight to it now.
It's an enchanted world. Anything can happen, right?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Magic lightning. No,
It's magic lightning.
Oh, Steven, you're up.
Okay. All right, so Ben, my question for you was: are you in the water? I couldn't remember if you were like
I
on the
am.
side. Okay, you're in the water.
I'm
Okay,
posing as a player, so I've got my jellyfish. I've got
yeah,
gear on.
you got your
Yeah.
gear on. You're in there. Okay, well, one of the dangerous, what we say, apparatuses in the pool is going to go off, and it's going to be a giant whirlpool in the middle that's going to start pulling us all, but you're the closest to it. It's going to be sucking you in, and the coins are going in as well. And you can see in the corner there's poor shock resistor guy starting to head that way too, but you're in the direct line of the current pulling you right in quickly. And yeah, I
Patient,
mean,
patient zero.
Can I ask, is my threat from like a drowning incident, or is the bottom of this whirlpool like blades? Like what exactly is it that I'm afraid of?
That's a good question. Well, I think what's going to be actually down there is a giant. There's a giant. It's like the giant squid tank where people can go down and view below. It's like one of those below a tank kind of tank things,
Sure, yeah.
But the jellyfish and people who don't make it are fed to the squid, to the giant enchanted squid. So
Anything below a certain line is his.
exactly. He just kind of grabs at it. And you can see I'm going to say, you can kind of see him he's so strong against the whirlpool. He's enchanted. You can see his tendrils kind of coming up.
I love that.
So,
Waiting to grab his prize.
It's like such a good threat for our scenario that like if you fell into the water and you like panicked, that there could be just a big giant tentacle to drag you down. That's terrifying. Okay.
You also hear
I have to ask, was that an underwater fart or a menacing growl?
totally an underwater fart.
Yeah.
The last player didn't agree with him. All right, Daniel, go ahead.
Huzzah, let's go. Okay, so it's Jonathan, right?
Jonathan.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, got it right. So Jonathan this isn't his natural environment, like, yeah, Marco Polo, whatever, but like riding jellyfish. So, you climb upon that jellyfish and you start riding it out, but you're kind of staying to the outskirts. You're just not really like involved in all the combat and everything. You're just kind of just making your way, just enjoying the ride. You're like starting to caress the jellyfish and pet it, and you're just you just have this affinity with animals. And in real life, Steven does. He just likes to go pick up random animals. And so you're just and you just kind of like lean over and you're just like trying to wrap your arms around it. And of course, it's little tendrils are, starting to come up, getting a little bit closer to your hands. But that's not the real threat. Because since you're like distracted and you're just so engrossed in, giving this jellyfish tiddlywinks as you're like tickling it, and it's kind of like, you see its tendrils kind of flare out a little bit, off in the distance. You don't hear it, but you just hear this guy go, this guttural as this one of the contestants goes down, and there is a individual on a jellyfish, water just dripping off him, glistening in the sun, and he's holding a trident. It is Grimfang the Relentless. He sees you, and he knows that you don't belong here, and he just, grin just slides up his face, sinister grin. And he charges at you, his trident, out in front, ready to just run you through.
Get a big old fork full of Jonathan.
Yes.
Yep.
Dude, Jonathan not worried about this. I'm not worried about this.
So yeah.
All right. Does everybody feel adequately imperiled?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So next you'll pick one of your abilities to help explain how you're trying to survive. Here's where there's a couple more important tidbits. So when you're using an ability, there's a limit to keep us all kind of on the same damage scale, the same power level. So it's called the elephant rule. Whenever you're using an ability for the first time, you can only affect up to an elephant's amount of stuff. So, for example, like an elephant's worth of water, bees. This is to prevent people from doing ridiculous things like punching gravity out of the earth or removing the air from the planet. Like, it keeps
Okay.
things in kind of like a more we can stay close to each other and do fun things without just wiping each other out immediately. There's also you done messed up, so anything that changes about you after using an ability card is permanent. So if you use an ability card and you turn into a dolphin, well, now you're a dolphin for the rest of the game until you use an ability or something to change it. So however you leave yourself, however you end your turn, however you describe yourself at the end of the round, that's exactly how things are when you're going into the next round. And then keep it fresh. An ability can only make new things happen when it's played. So even if you have permanently changed yourself into a dolphin, you can't use your dolphin smarts or your sonar or your swimming skills to get out of your danger. You have to try to focus on whatever the new ability is that you're playing as how you're escaping. And lastly, if you're not happy with all of your options, you can discard one and draw a random one off the top of the deck.
Okay.
But then you have to immediately play the random one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh,
All right,
okay.
so go ahead and pick one of your abilities or draw a wild card if you're already losing hope.
And all you have to do is just drag it under your
drag it
name
under
on
there?
top of the... Yep. And it'll automatically be face down.
Okay.
All right, so I have been drugged down to the depths of the arena as my jellyfish was distracted by all the shinies across the bottom. And I also feel a slight stir in the water as things start to spiral around, which may work in my favor as I have a modular body. I can swap out my body parts with things around me. So one of the threats that were yet to come into play were these enormous, like, mean-looking snapping turtles. And unexpectedly, it starts getting pulled sideways by the change in the stream. So seeing that my jellyfish isn't giving up anytime soon, trying to get those shiny pennies or magical quarters off the bottom, I do a twist with my waist, grabbing a hold of my seat, twist my waist to unlock my legs from my body, and I grab a hold of the turtle as it goes by, and I connect my torso to the back of it, giving me a new, hopefully more manageable mount. And I try to grab it by the shell and try to steer it upwards back to air.
I love it.
And you know
Aaron?
what? For the sake of confidence, I do steer it back towards the air, so I am breathing now. That seems like an important thing to mention.
It's a big deal. Breathe. Air.
Aaron's
Awesome.
answers are always so fantastical. In my head, as soon as I saw the card, I was like, "Oh, he's gonna detach his legs and reattach them because he has that power." Nope, he's fusing a turtle as his lower half to now have the. I love it so much. It's great. All right. Well, I am being sucked into one of the traps in the Jellyfish Joust, the whirlpool, which we now know has a gigantic squid at the bottom ready to just consume whatever it can get its tentacles on. But the reason I'm an animal activist, guys, with this special mission here is because I'm a druid. And I am connected with the natural world around me, allowing me to merge with it or reach out to it for aid. So as I'm underwater, I'm communicating telepathically to my jellyfish friends that I'm trying to save. And instead of getting sucked into the whirlpool, they're coming to my aid and forming a raft beneath me to lift me up out of reach of the angry squid, who I have not been able to break through his emotional barriers yet after years of torment. So he still very much wants to kill me. But luckily, all the jellyfish that are in the nearby area without riders come to my aid and lift me out of the whirlpool.
I appreciate that you haven't given up on him.
Oh, I will save him, even if it costs me my life.
We'll save him. Oh my gosh. Okay. Do I click on my card here?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. All right. What was the name of that fella, Daniel?
Grimfang, the Relentless.
Grimfang. Well, Grimfang, he's charging at me on his jellyfish, trident in hand, and our eyes lock. And all of a sudden, my soul and his swap, and I go into the body of Grimfang.
Yes.
Into the body of Grimfang, and all of a sudden, it's such a crazy thing. Like, I don't know entirely what happened. I'm just kind of in utter shock. And before I know it, the trident has pierced into my old body. And I look, and I don't know what to feel as I see my old self slumping down and the water turning red. And I go to catch it, and I hold it in my arms, and I stare into my old eyes. And then I look at the muscles that I have, and I think, my God.
Yeah, not such a bad trade-off.
That's
good.
like true. That's the mark of a champion. You adapted very quickly to your surroundings.
That is good.
His Marco Polo game is like...
Yep.
He's gonna be so
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, but I
Leveled
still
up.
no, but yeah, I still call out Marco in my new voice, and I don't know. I'm like never heard the voice before, and so I'm like so in shock of everything that's happening, including my own voice.
You're going to be undefeatable if you can make it back to a normal arena.
I love too, like for the onlookers, they wouldn't even know. They'd just be cheering for Grimfang.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he gets another one.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. All right, so my turn. Awesome. All right, let's see. Yep. So, as I'm sitting there just munching, just nom 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 nom, and all the little tidbits are just dribbling down into the water as these jellyfish are coming on up the side. And their tentacles are reaching out, and they start like sting. Of course, I'm there. I'm just with shorts on, by the way. I'm wearing shorts. I don't have a lot of protection, a lot of covering, because when I was a kid, like, I don't remember all the details. I just remember like lots of needles and bright lights and lab coats and
Gosh.
getting poked and jabbed and then alarms and red lights and run and gunshots and arrows and bows and all the things, as I'm running with these other kids and we're trying to escape and then ended up in a sewage and crawling through muck and grime and all that stuff. And of course I just come through and I'm here watching the game, and these tendrils are coming up and they're just like hitting me, and I'm like looking down and I go, I just kind of wipe them away because whatever they're doing to me doesn't affect me. And I'm like, well, maybe I should back away a little bit and not spill so much. And I kind of like look around and decide to step back another seat. And then I go, Grimfang's over there. And so I get up and I want to be a little bit closer to where he's at, on his most recent kill so I can cheer him on. So, as I hear the screams of all the inmates and whatever it was in the wards, in the back of my head. And then they just go quiet.
So you're like
Your
watching
fellow.
the game, but it's a blank stare as you're just like,
Man, this
oh gosh.
went another level there.
Yeah, it
Gosh.
got dark.
I was like, I was pretty excited getting the card. I was like, that's fun.
This is the only place you can find peace where so much peril is happening to somebody
Exactly.
else.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if you were just able to withstand the shock because you were a super soldier, or if just it paled in comparison to like the torture you went
even
through as a
better.
child.
I don't feel pain anymore.
Like, this is nothing.
All your nerves are just gone.
They're just shot.
They're just gone.
So you're walking through the sands as your legs are swelling up, or no?
Yeah, that's true. Are they swelling up?
No, they're not swelling up or anything.
Oh,
No,
okay.
they're
Okay.
fine.
Just making sure I've got the
no effect.
correct understanding
Yeah.
of which kind of...
No, I thought the other was good, but yeah, no effect because of whatever they did to me. So
That's fair. All right, so we're going to do a quick one-sentence recap in preparation for the vote. So you'll want to be listening to try to determine who you personally think is least likely to survive. So I was being drowned by my untrusty steed. Luckily, though, I was able to detach myself from my tied-down legs and reattach myself to a big old snapping turtle that happened to be pulled by, and I redirected it back to the surface.
Yep. And I, as a druid, called out to the nearby jellyfish that were mountless, and they came to my rescue and lifted me out of the whirlpool.
And I saw a leaping, lunging Grimfang, stared deeply into his eyes. We body swapped. I possessed his. And the new me stabbed the old me straight through the chest, and I held my lifeless, dying body and stared into my old eyes in shock, and still called out Marco.
and then me, apparently I was experimented on as a kid, and all the various stings and stuff and jellyfish didn't affect me, so I was able to just kind of walk. I got distracted and walked away.
I got distracted.
All right. So, when you know who you would vote for, go ahead and pick up a token and just hold it off to the side. I'll do a countdown, and we're going to put them on top of the player cards themselves.
Okay.
Okay, and we're voting for
Who you think is least likely to survive given their situation and how they described getting out of it.
Okay.
Take the powers into account as well. So like nothing is impossible, but given the powers, how do you think they did versus other descriptions? Sometimes, well, I should say more often than not, it's a choice between just a lot of amazing and ridiculous ways of surviving, so it's very hard. Every now and then, especially when somebody doesn't have a good card, it's really easy to say who's not going to make it.
Yes.
That's usually me. All right.
Roll.
3, 2, 1, drop him. Oh, I thought you were ready because the token was picked up. And you cannot vote for yourself, just FYI.
Will we repeat that again?
You cannot vote for yourself.
Oh, man. I was going to vote for myself. Okay.
No.
Oh, man.
Wait, what? Who's that?
I'm going to go.
When in doubt, rely on your in real life ties. It's like
I know.
When in doubt, torpedo your friends.
Yeah.
All right.
Strangely familiar.
As the person with the most votes, here's what happened. I come up breaching the water with my turtle, but now that he's a little less disoriented, he is definitely not under my control. And we also happen to surface in like the most dangerous and my most hateful part of the arena, containing the wires among some of the other deadlier traps.
So in this case, you're being hobbled because you've been relocated to a scarier part and have an unruly mount. Is that the... Okay.
Yeah, my
right.
disadvantages. So one way to consider like how you describe your disadvantages is like, how do you help the next person give a little bit more cannon fodder for your demise?
Not that you have to use it, but yeah, usually like one of the examples I always give is one time I was an acrobat, but I got the most votes. So I survived by flipping away from an explosion, but I hobbled myself because when I landed, I twisted both my ankles.
Oh,
so if
gotcha.
someone wanted to, they know now, like I'm not going to be moving anywhere very quickly because of that. So it's, yeah, basically if you end up, with the most votes in a round, the goal is to basically just give people more to work with as a penance, even though you're not dead, like you're still in. So
That's awesome.
All right, so does everybody remember what their new target was doing?
Yes.
Oh, and one thing we didn't mention is each round the me first token shifts to the next player, so that way a different player starts each round.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I'll be going first this time once everyone's ready. All right. So I am up. I have got Huzzah King, aka Daniel, and after the events of the previous round, you shook off the jellyfish, no problem. You're wandering around looking for, just any form of entertainment to make you feel. And you're like, you know what? Maybe I could get a cool angle of the action from underneath that viewing area they have of the giant squid. You've never done that before, so you go to check it out. And the instant that you step into like the domed bubble, so like you can really get in there, you lock eyes with this giant squid, and it recognizes you for the super soldier you are as a worthy competitor. And instantly, it shifts its attention from the above whirlpool and looking for food, and it reorients its body, and it attacks the dome with its beak. Oh. And using its giant beak, it's going to crash through the dome and try to bite you in one chomp to eliminate you, as you are the most now dominant threat in its vicinity.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, and you ruined me. You ruined my story. Now I have to think of something else really cool in my head.
I got you, Aaron.
Yep.
All right.
Oh man, I got to.
Well, Aaron, as you are trying to resurface with your turtle shell body now that's been somehow magically enchanted upon your back, you're rushing to the surface. It's been a while since you've breathed, and all of a sudden, is that right?
Well, I
Did you make it to the
say
surface?
Made it to the surface.
Okay, you make it to the surface.
yeah.
Okay, well we're gonna pull you back down, and this is how.
Okay.
So you make it. You just get to the surface. You get your first breath in a while. All of a sudden, you didn't realize that when you merge with this turtle, you merge with some of its DNA that's in your brain. And the turtle brain now is thinking, and the turtle brain it starts, and it says, it's looking for something on the bottom, some leafy greens to try to eat, try to munch on. So instantly, as you get your first breath, your body just turns back around and heads back to the bottom. Also, you're a little slow because the turtle that you morphed with, he's got a few diseases on him as well. So he's a little bit of a diseased turtle. So your turtle mind is all of a sudden just kicking in and pleading for food, heading toward the bottom without realizing the danger that's down there.
All right, I've got them sea munchies.
Yep.
Is the longest surviving snapping turtle trap of all
right.
the things he's
I
seen.
really should have put it down a long time ago.
A real haggard snapping turtle, just kind of disgusting.
All right.
Okay, give me a sec. I have to pivot.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's funny because like Steven introduced the squid, and I was like, dang it, and then you took the squid to use, and I was like, dang it.
Yeah.
It's like, I want the squid.
There's nothing to say it's not the only large aquatic threat down there.
That's true, but I think I have a different pivot though. I had another way, so I just got to figure out how I want to do it. Last we left you, you were being swept to the surface by a bunch of friendly jellyfish, right?
Yep.
That's what it was. Okay, awesome, sweet, cool. Let's go. All right, so you've been to enough of these events to know that they keep an eye out for people like you druids, you tree huggers, and so they're all of a sudden you hear this horn just echo throughout the arena, and you look up as you're coming to the surface, surrounded by all these jellyfish, and you see off several rows up, you see one of the security, there's just clothed in a dark robe, and they're blowing a horn to break your spell over these jellyfish. And so all of a sudden the jellyfish, because they know they recognize you, they know who you are, they've seen you at these events before, so they're aware, they're waiting for you. You were able to get in, but you ain't getting out. And so it blows the horn, and it breaks the spell over the jellyfish, and then they just start swarming you.
I like it.
Wow.
That's really creative. I like the angle you took on that.
Yeah.
Thanks. I was like, what do I do?
For a second, I thought you were going to say that there was just like a sniper that was just going to try to shoot me or something. I was like,
wow.
That would be cool.
No, like what you did was much more on theme, so kudos.
Thank you. I mean, Enchanted Arena, whatever,
Yep, that's great.
All right, so Jonathan, now in your new spruced up body, you're unfortunately not really used to having this much muscle mass, this density of just pure like slabs of rock hard beef. And one of the things that you didn't really know about, dang it, what was his name?
Grimfang?
Grimfang.
The Relentless.
Something that you didn't know that Grimfang does for his audience is before every match, to give them the show they deserve, Grimfang oils up his body. He gets slick, shiny, presenting like the manliest of figures to own the arena. And unfortunately, what you also didn't know about Grimfang is that because of his slick, chic body oil, he has to grab a hold of his mount by his legs constantly. So his thighs are always engaged and rippling. And once you possessed him, you relaxed. You were admiring your brand new body. And you very quickly slip off like a greased pig from your mount. And your newfound muscle density is not working in your favor. You may be sinking faster than a rock somehow due to like your aqua dynamic slicked up body, and yeah, you're sinking so fast. Not only do you not have air, but you might be suffering a concussion by hitting the bottom of the thing so quickly.
Oof. Here, I thought I was going to be all powerful, like Triton Part 2 or King Triton.
Never skip leg day.
Never.
Yeah.
That's the moral of the story.
Oh, that's so good.
Engage your core.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. So pick an ability, and when you know how you'd survive, go ahead and drag it onto your. Drag it beneath you.
All right.
No time for regrets.
There isn't.
Yep.
It's just like, whatever.
Send
We're
me.
going to do it.
Those are usually some of the best.
Oh, absolutely. All right, so I hate to bring up Druid because obviously I'm going to be utilizing a new ability here, but Druids are known for being able to shapeshift into animals and be one with nature.
That is true.
And so, though I've lost my mental link with the surrounding jellyfish after they've saved me, they've quickly turned on me, reverting back to their nature. Which is why I'm going to have to now use my ability of lycanthropy, where I can transform into some kind of monstrous were creature, granting associated abilities and weaknesses. So, one of the reasons I'm so confident in my plight against this school, this sport, and my mission to save these jellyfish is because from birth, I've had this weird ability to become half person, half electric eel. It's not your typical werewolf. Most people would point and laugh at me because, top half eel wiggling around while I'm walking down the streets. It's not a very cool thing amongst the druid community, but it's got its uses. And in this particular case, I am impervious to electricity, as I'm also able to emit electric shocks in the water. And so, what was meant to be this writhing, agonizing, electric shocking, just ends up being kind of like tickly, as all these tentacles are just poking and prodding as the jellyfish are trying to attack me. But my eel body is able to squirm its way out and withstand the shocks. Were eel.
Disappointed you didn't go with the Where Nemo, the clownfish, but that's okay. I get you.
Yeah. Any chance I get to... This is actually funny. One of the recent games I played with my family, in person, I turned into a were orca, where it was human legs, but then the head of an orca. So I've got something deep in my brain that's
That's pretty awesome. Just gonna be half this, half that. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's so funny because we've got a different card called Picatar, which explicitly says you're half something else. And there's a dividing line.
Picatar, nice.
Yeah, but Ben just uses lycanthropy and it's no,
does it anyway.
I don't turn into a cool version, a mix. I'm just half this thing.
Best of both worlds.
Just half of the half.
Eel where it counts.
Oh my gosh. Oh man. Is it me now?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. All right, I have a magical sidekick. As I hit my head onto the bottom of this pool, I'm losing consciousness. Eyes are going into a glaze. All of a sudden, I hear a shout from the stands. Whoa! And all of a sudden, a child stands up, and he starts parting the water with his hands. And all of a sudden, it's my sidekick, Jakethy, who is actually the magical one, and I'm just pure brawn. So Grimfang is pure strength, and all of a sudden, the kid parts the water with his hands. And with his mind, he's also pulling me towards the front. And as I start to slowly drag across, which is kind of cutting and bruising my face, but you know what? Better I get out of there. The jellyfish are splashing up on each side, trying to come in, but the force is pushing them back from Jakethy's power. And all of a sudden, I start to slide up the side of the tank. And my body just thuds on the other side. And the kid puts his hands together. Jakethy goes, sweat. He's exerted every amount of magic he could in the moment to bring me out.
I love that you guys have complementary powers, not just identical, but I've got the brawn and he's got the mental.
He's got
powers.
He's just
That's great.
This is entirely your thing, but my headcanon is that Jakethy is just a stalker who really likes Grimfang and just sprung into action to save him.
I like that. That's actually
But he calls himself Grimfang's sidekick, but he's a stalker.
Grimfang has no idea who he is, but he's like, yeah, I'm Grimfang's sidekick.
But the funny thing is, like, Jimothy doesn't know either. Or no,
The original
I'm laughing so hard.
Jonathan.
Jonathan, yeah.
Oh,
Jonathan wouldn't know, so if he says he's your sidekick, you don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, he doesn't know who this kid is. He has
Yep.
no idea. I was gonna say that was another point. Yeah, he has no clue who Jacothy is. That just saved him, drug him through the concrete, over the glass wall, and onto the ground.
That's awesome.
All right, so I can bend and reshape metal, but the most important thing is you can also make friends super easily. So as this thing is clamping down and shattering the glass, whatever it is. Of course, apparently all the water has been sucked out of this thing, right?
Well, I
it's
would
coming
think
in.
that as soon as it breaks, it's pouring in as well.
Well, but
Yeah.
true. But at the same time, we also had
beforehand.
a parting of the water for a second, so that would have pulled some of the water out.
That's true.
That's true.
So, like trying to look at the timing of events. So in that
you
brief
can
moment,
make it work.
yeah. So in that brief moment that the water was parted away and this thing breaks through, I just lean in and go, "Hey there, big guy," and I just reach up to pet its beak. And to feed it some snacks. Because I make friends super easily. So I was like, I'm going to be friends with this guy. You look kind of lonely there. And then I start singing a sea shanty.
Yeah, you know what it's like to come from a place of rage.
Yes.
You can help.
So yeah, there he is.
All he ever wanted was to be accepted, and he realized, oh, this guy's not threatening me. He's giving me snacks and belly rubs, and
Just rubbing his belly.
The approach the druid never took was to empathize
Because he
on
just
the
likes to
rage.
control minds.
Yeah.
yep.
Oh, it's so ridiculous.
All right, so I accidentally adhered myself to the arena's most notoriously old and decrepit snapping turtle. Happens to be the largest, but that's just because he's old. Luckily, though, I have the ability to knock out anything, KO, even intangible things like concepts and color. So I feel myself being pulled back down, and I feel myself connecting with my new turtle lower half. And I feel all of the struggles and the age and just his tiredness of it all. Like, I just want to go eat some kelp. Leave me alone. And I'm like, no, you were once the greatest. They would fear you. How many players have you eaten over the years? At least 3. And I reach down and I slap him on the back of his shell as hard as I can, and I knock out his the decrepitness and all of the wear and tear that he's experienced to try to instantly bring him back up to fighting shape, to the ravenous giant turtle beast he used to be. And I say, now to the surface, where we can devour more players. And we once again attempt to get back to air.
Aaron's whole game so far has been dive, swim, dive.
Up, down,
Poor guy.
up, down. Oh, I'm like sweating a little bit. Oh, hold on. Here we go. Oh, man.
All right, so quick recap before we vote.
Yeah.
And this is also kind of like your moment to polish your argument, to try to not be the one to get the most votes.
Yeah, I thought about that. I'll just leave it as is. I transformed in a moment of panic into my were creature, which in this case is an electric eel, so that I could withstand the electric shock of the jellyfish.
Okay. I have
With 2 human feet
with 2 human feet.
kicking, as I understand
Hoping
it.
you wouldn't have brought that back up, but
Just checking my pictures there.
Yep. Big old thighs hanging out, legs
Big
all the
old
way
bulky
down.
thighs.
Yep.
Oh my
Love
gosh. Well, I have a sidekick named Jacothy, who, unbeknownst to me, I don't know who he is clearly because I'm Jonathan in another person's body, but I've been knocked out, dragging towards the middle of the whirlpool. Jacothy cries out, claps his hand together, splits the water, and with his mental mind, he pulls me along the concrete over the wall. I'm just on the other side, chilling but unconscious.
Huzzah. I I am trying to become friends with the squid, and I'm feeding it snacks, barnacles, and shrimp and things, and just, hey there, big guy. I know how you feel.
And I am KOing the wear and tear out of my elderly turtle to get him back into fighting shape and back towards the surface where I can breathe.
It gives me so much joy. It gives me so much joy. Oh, gosh.
All right, when you know who you'd vote for, pick up a token. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Yep. What? I mean, Aaron tried to bail me out. He was like, well, werewolves don't have to be half human, half whatever. And I was like, oh, yeah, I could have just been like a big eel guy or something. But no, that's great. I love it.
Oh, my goodness. It's so much fun.
So, yeah, you guys, you nailed it. My top half is looking great. You know, barely feeling anything from this jellyfish, but my legs are going through it. I've got tentacles wrapped through, around, inside. I'm just being shocked up and down, and I guess like a fitting punishment would just I'm trying to think of like what the injury of that would be.
That all sounds pretty bad. Like that's
Let's say I've got these just horrific burns and blisters on my legs that are going to make it very painful to do any kind of fast moving after this incident, which, sidebar, as someone who's been stung by a Portuguese man-of-war in real life and experienced the brutal sting of a jellyfish, it's not fun. So,
Oh, man.
yeah, should be good. I relate to my character even more now.
all right. So we should just continue blasting you with jellyfish-like peril. All right. Next targets. Targets have shifted. Does everybody know what their target was last to?
I think so.
I'd like a real quick refresher. You're on your turtle coming back to the surface, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's rejuvenated.
Newly improved, yeah.
Yep. Doesn't look quite so grungy and funky, but he's just as big and ready to rumble.
Oh, and me first is going to be Steven this time. Just heads up.
Okay.
Whenever
gotcha.
we're all ready. Yep.
Okay,
All
I'm
right,
first.
Steven.
Here we go. Well, Daniel, last time we heard about you were having some lovely cuddle hangout times with the giant squid, feeding it snacks, giving it belly rubs, petting it, and its beak opens to take another snack. Opens up, you hand it one, I don't know what it is, barnacle, some of your leftover shrimp. It goes in to take it, but before you notice, something starts coming out of the mouth. And little do we know that what comes with big squids are also giant parasites. A parasite comes out of the mouth and just goes straight at your face and into your mouth and trying to make its way down your throat. And your throat enlarges as it starts going down and it's moving like this. And it starts going inside before you know it, its tail goes in. And you're just... And the squid's very confused because by now he loves you.
So you got a fancy new case of tapeworm.
Oh, or whatever it is, the really weird, creepy things. The one that's in my head is the one that I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it gets into fish and it replaces their tongue.
Yeah,
And-
it eats their tongue and it sits there,
And it
right?
becomes the tongue, and then it just
Oh.
keeps. Yep. Oh.
We could do that. It could turn around and kind of lean out and become your new tongue.
Okay, so it's my new tongue. Cool. I love it.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's
it's
go.
trying to be.
It's
I-
trying to be.
It's still head first down. It's down in
Yeah.
your stomach. and through
It's
your
got to flip back around and come back
Yeah,
out.
it's got to come back around. Yeah.
That's
All
good.
part of
gotta
the
make-
process.
It's got to make the rounds. See it's in the
You're just-
neighborhood.
Guttural noises.
It's got to check out the new property and the
Yeah.
space. And
Check out the new property. Yep, that's me.
All right.
That's so cool. I love that.
Oh man, that's really good. I'm like, wow, that's a really good one. Man, mine's
I
gonna
mean,
be
it could totally explain the squid's temperament before, how it was always trying to
Yeah.
just like eat everything.
Yeah.
Like,
angry and eating, and now, yeah.
Always hungry.
Oh man. Okay. Well, mine's pretty simple. So, I mean, the reality is we're in a big tank swimming pool thing where we have squids and turtles and jellyfish. We have room for more sea creatures. So about this
Definitely.
time, you see a couple other cloaked figures come out in these outcropping areas, and they pull out these flutes and they go. And then all of a sudden, you just kind of hear the place just shake, and off the side, you see these two doors open up, and you see these fins coming in. So the sharks have arrived.
So
And-
like the tank doors,
Yeah.
and the water level.
Yes. And so, yeah, we finally have sharks, guys. And Aaron, unfortunate, you were on your turtle, like, as soon as you're coming up to the surface, like, you're right there where the doors open up as these sharks come barreling out. There's, like, 3 of them, so, and they're massive, too, like, huge, like, you know.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
I love the ceremony that you keep involving, like the people coming
The
out
horns,
from the
the
side.
flutes. Yeah.
I love fantasy, and so D&D is my jam, so I'm just thinking, like, okay, we're in the enchanted place, so we're going to have these rituals and ceremonies.
How
and
does the crowd react every time these guys come out? Are they frightened?
You're
Are
right.
they...
No, they're going nuts because, like, they're here to see bloodshed. It's like a
Oh,
gladiator.
they're like cheering it
arena.
on. Okay.
Yes. Oh, yeah. This is
like
what-
Thunder. This is like Beyond Thunderdome
Yes.
in water.
Yeah. In
Okay.
water.
They know things are going like poorly, and they need to bump the excitement when they have to release the sharks.
Exactly.
Well, the squid's been off doing his own thing, so they're like, they need to introduce a new threat.
Yep.
Oh, I love it. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So Ben, you did escape your giant bushel of jumbo jellyfish. And your legs are swollen, so you're not swimming at your best, even with your eel kind of leading the way a little bit. The legs are holding you back instead of helping. And given all the pain that you're in, you're not paying as much attention as you normally would when engaging. Like, you've mapped out this arena a lot to try to find the best escape route, but your mind's not in the game right now. And you accidentally wander into a clearly marked danger zone where players really should know not to go here. And from beneath you, you hear a big underwater and the announcer, you hear over the stadium speakers, "Oh, somebody wandered into the noob cannon!" And this giant sudden geyser of water is fired from beneath you, launching you entirely out of the pool of water, and you land into the noob pan, which is always kept at a simmering, like, red hot heat. It's like the size of like somebody's backyard swimming pool, but really shallow. So you're in like this big burning iron pan.
Anybody want some fried eel? Is that
Oh
man? All right. Okay, and then me. So I have to like almost remind me. Okay, that's right. So Steven, you've just been saved by your sidekick, and I'm gonna catch some flack for this, but my absolute guilty pleasure and favorite thing to do when playing this game is to just do like freak accident peril. So it's like you can do anything you want, but sometimes my turns end up being so basic. As previously discussed, you're in your new body, kind of coming to terms with this new muscle. And the baby oil that you had applied before that Aaron mentioned is just, man, it is so slick, so slippery, water resistant. It's the good stuff. And as you are, you come off the ground and you're like looking at your sidekick who just saved your life, you go to like stand up and put your hand on your knee to like, get to a standing position and just completely whoop and end up like tossing and turning, tumbling, and the trident you were wielding as Grimfang is thrown into the air, and you lay there after this comical tumble, and it's now just coming back down at you, about to impale you. Slipped right out of your hand. You slipped. All the slipping and sliding.
Yeah.
Yep.
With
This
the
feels like
Yeah.
This feels like a karma kind of situation.
The trident will impale again. It's just like it's looking for its next victim.
That's amazing.
All right. So again, just a reminder: you can pull a wild card if you're not happy with your current options. Steven, you're up first.
All right, here we go, people. Okay. Well, as I am coming to, looking up into the air, I've just fallen, and it's kind of oddly woken me up and stirred me, and I look up and I see the trident just coming back towards me, and all of a sudden my arm I look down on it, and almost as a natural defense, it becomes almost, like T-1000, like a blade. It just turns into this blade. And I'm surprised at everything that's happening to me, but this especially. I'm like, I see my arm just slowly turn into a blade, and the trident falls right at me, and I slash it in half. And you hear the metal just across the entire arena. It's piercing because it's an incredibly magical trident, and all the magic that was harnessed in it explodes into the arena, and there's like a mini explosion as it happens at the same time. And as soon as my hand turned into a knife to cut it in half, I look and it's back to a regular hand, and I'm moving my fingers.
All right. So that puts you, just for clarification, that puts you at the center of a magical explosion.
It does.
Okay.
Well, it's
problem for next round.
Yeah. It happened. It happened. I said it. It happened.
Yep.
I can't take it back.
Oh, sorry, I flipped your card for you. That was.
Oh no, you're good. I'm next. It's all good.
Spoiled it.
Yeah, it's all good. I got to look at it again and process this.
Stealing the thunder.
So it says you have spent countless years conditioning each and every part of your body for a weirdly specific purpose.
But sword arm has been taken.
But sword hand, yeah, the fingers, the pierced
Sword arm is
coconut.
out.
So now that this thing has crawled down, how far did this thing get down into me?
He's down into your stomach. He's
down
pretty long.
He's pretty long.
He's kind of you see the bulge down your neck and into your chest.
Okay, so I could see the bulge still in my neck. Okay, cool. So basically, I unhinge my jaws like a snake, and I just go, and it just pops and just kind of elongates, and my neck just kind of like opens up some, and I take my hand and I just stick it all the way down into my throat and grab this parasite by the tail or whatever it is. And of course it's fiddling and it's fighting back, and I just pull it out and just kind of fling it around and just whack it against the wall a couple times. Then curb stomp it a couple times.
It calls out, "Stop it! Stop it! You don't know what you're doing."
In the time it was in you, it learned how to speak your language.
It just learned how to speak. It was able to absorb everything.
He has a lip. Stop it! Stop it!
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so right now my jaw's still kind of unhinged and my neck is kind of swollen out, because it takes, it takes a little bit to get back to normal, so I kind of look like a freak a little bit.
I'm not questioning your ability to do it. I'm more so trying to vision like what the practice regimen is to get that skill with.
That's fair.
Maybe
That's fair.
eating a lot of food or something to I don't know. There's
It
something.
took dedication. We'll say that much.
Daniel's like the body horror of the story.
There it is.
It's
Yes.
very scary.
Could be partially related to his super soldier training.
Yeah,
That's
a little bit.
Oh man.
All right. I have surfaced right next to the release of the sharks. Of course.
Yes.
Luckily, though, I haven't seen this card yet. I am a mimic. I can use an ability card from the discard pile, but it must be used in a new way.
Oh wow!
Fortune favors the bold. I guess I'll do that one. My confidence carries me through situations in which cowards or the clever would falter. Sharks. What do I have to worry about with sharks? I have the arena's oldest turtle as my new steed. I say, Chompy, it looks like a challenger approaches. Let's show him what we've been surviving all these years for. Let's show him how we survived all these years.
Chompy.
I love it. Yep. Chompy. All right. I could not contain my excitement when Aaron was describing my peril. So I got launched from the noob cannon, which jettisoned me up into a hot frying pan. Because. And that's not going to be a problem because I, amongst many other things, am a thermomancer.
Wow.
I can instantly change something's temperature, adding or removing heat.
Nice.
So I say to myself as I'm flying through the air, I can't believe I did that. Because I've been staking out these games for a while to come up with a plan. I know about the noob cannon. It takes out 2 or 3 people each session. The warm, sickly smell of sizzling contestant is a fan favorite attraction of these games. But as I'm tumbling and about to land, I use my ability, and instead of a hot sizzling pan, I make it a nice, cool, soothing flat iron pan that I land in to help with my burns on my legs. So I kind of plop down, and I'm safe from the heat, and also my legs are feeling a little bit better.
Wow.
Yep.
Nice.
All right, so quick recap. Last chance to sell your survival.
Okay, I have a trident falling at me. My arm just turns into a beautiful blade before my eyes. Can't believe it. I cut the trident in half. It explodes into a magical burst of beautiful color. And that's me. I'm just watching this all happen, and I can't believe it.
I was able to manipulate my body enough to pluck the parasite out of my stomach. Just so.
Yep, that's the sound.
Yep.
I direct my my ancient turtle Chompy towards the sharks rather than away for a head-to-head battle.
And I flash cooled the hot frying pan before landing in it.
All right, 3, 2, 1, drop.
Oh no! Come on!
So what went slightly wrong with your plan?
Okay, as I cut the trident in half. Of course, the explosion that you so aptly called out, and I was like, "Oh, dang it!" The explosion, it blows my body and Jakethy back. We both get blown through the crowd. We're like bowling pins are just getting knocked over. People are just getting knocked as we blow through, and we hit the first solid wall. Like there's a little bit of a wall where some of the concessions are. Where Daniel used to sit over there, but we hit the wall. So hard it puts a crack in it, and I look over at my teammate that I actually don't know who he is. I'm like, who's this kid? What's going on? he's unconscious, and I look down, and both of my shoulders are completely dislocated and popped out a little bit slightly.
Oh.
Yeah, and I also noticed that my hip is a little bit out of place as well.
3 out of 4 limbs are popped out of place.
And nothing's broken, but it's kind of popped out of place, and I just feel the pain all over my body. My oily, muscular, new body. And I go, oh!
The injuries stack up over the years.
Yeah, I think I'm hurting myself more than I should, but
Maybe.
we gotta roll with this thing.
It's like, all right, yeah, give yourself a disadvantage. It's like, well, none of my limbs work.
I give myself 3 disadvantages.
Yeah. Take that, me.
Got a case of the noodle arms.
That's right. I just roll around on the ground. That's what I'm gonna do.
Well, I can't wait to see what the next round has in store for me. Does everybody remember what their targets were doing last?
Yeah, just kind of flopping around, I think Steven was doing.
No, I hit a wall.
You did.
I really messed myself up. I even said my partner's unconscious. Why did I say that? Why did I
didn't have to? Yeah. You didn't have to endanger them, but you sure did.
I think you were just trying to show like how tough you were compared to the small child.
That's it.
Like I didn't go unconscious.
Yeah, that's it. That's a good. Yeah, and Ben, are you still up on top of the frying pan because you have your magical, but you've got your magical. Oh no, you landed. You jumped out of it onto the what cooled your legs again?
The frying pan. I landed. I cooled it, and now I'm just sitting up there.
Oh, you're sitting on it, but you cooled it down, right?
Yep.
Right. Yeah, still half eel, still half legs,
still half blisters.
Yeah.
Half eel, half legs.
Steven, is Jacob B, whatever his name is Jake? Okay, is he awake? Is he unconscious too?
He's unconscious too.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. I gotta stick
He bumped
with
his
it.
little head.
Okay.
Bumped his head, Jakethy. He had one amazing moment, Jakethy.
And then he tuckered himself out.
Yeah. taking a little nap.
Like, I'm finally gonna prove myself. Grimfang's gonna love me.
And he didn't even seem to recognize you. You've been to every one of his
If
matches.
he makes it out of this, he's definitely getting blamed for the dislocated joints. Like, I imagine you now as Grimfang will be like, "Why didn't you save me?" He's like,
Yeah.
Okay, here it is. Here we go. So, how do I say this? So, screams erupt throughout the whole arena, throughout the stands. Not like screams of cheering, but screams of just like people freaking out, death, people running. And you hear over the intercom or the loudspeaker or whatever it is in this arena, is this, oh, we have made a mistake. Apparently the deep ones have been let out a little too early, and they are in the stands. We apologize for any inconvenience, and we suggest you all get out as quick as possible. And Grimfang, or Jonathan, you don't really hear this, but as you wake up, you hear this munching, and you see one of the deep ones feeding on Jacoby, whatever his name is, and just nomming on his
or
head.
Timothy? Dang it, I can't.
Oh no!
And then it looks up at you, and it just drops the child, your stalker, and it crawls over to you, and his mouth just opens wide over your face, and that's where we leave you.
This one has seasoned himself.
Like this video, you guys are gonna have to come with like a disclaimer. It's like,
I think we kind of have like a blanket watch at your own risk
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
like, this is that part of the movie where we're like, I can't believe they did that.
Yes.
it's crazy how we gave you guys free will, and this is what you're doing. I mean,
Yikes! I love it.
I like dark things.
Yeah,
you get to learn a lot about people that play this
I'm a
game.
big fan of fantasy and Cthulhu, so there it is.
yeah.
I mean,
That's awesome.
how would you explain a child lasting very long in this situation? It shouldn't happen.
Where's this kid's parents at? Come on now.
They're way too weak and small.
It's his first.
Right.
It's his first year at this school, at this this sporting thing that's hosted. It's like a freshman, just learned how to use his abilities, saves his beloved,
Yeah.
and then
His hero.
eaten.
His hero. Oh my gosh.
Poor guy.
Oh man.
All right. Huzzah, King.
Thank you. Yes.
You've beaten your intestinal parasite to death. And shockingly, it berated you for doing it, but eventually passed. Your new squid friend, you get the sense that he breathes out deeply. They release the sharks. You're surprised he can talk, but they release the sharks. I gotta go back to work. And he pumps himself out of the hole that he was plugging with his giant beak. And as he turns towards
Yes.
the surface to start devouring players again, water starts just jettisoning, and what's worse is that it's full of pennies. So it's like this. It's like a sand blaster where it's not just the water blowing against you. The particles are hitting you like a hailstorm in the water as well.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, I dig it.
Callback from the very start.
Yeah.
That's great.
So good.
Oh, yes.
The continuity.
Yeah. I might be overstepping my bounds here, so you just tell me if that's the case. But hear me out before you do. So, so the people that orchestrate this sporting event, they realize pretty quickly, like, this is going bad. Like, the deep ones are out, premature. People are gonna be leaving bad Yelp reviews. It's gonna tank their ratings.
Those are kelp reviews.
Yelp reviews, yeah, perfect.
Yelp reviews.
And so they enact a protocol that is like a doomsday protocol, where it's going to try to contain the enclosure so that nothing else horrible can leak out into the stadium. Now, where we last left you were heroically charging down the sharks with Chompy, ready for your next fight. And in a total anticlimactic swing of events, Chompy gets taken out in one bite of the shark, just instantly, just dives straight in, head first.
Oh.
Shark has the bigger mouth, you know?
The problem with overconfidence.
In this case, with a modular body, you're fine. You're not bleeding, but your upper torso gets flung from Chompy. And you're now heading into Doomsday Protocol, which is just whirring blades and lasers slowly closing in on the
Oh my gosh.
arena. It's got layers to it, but yeah. So you survive the shark, but you're being thrown into Doomsday Protocol and about to be just vaporized and shredded.
I like it.
You're like in the Star Wars trash compactor pit thing now.
Yeah.
It's like a mix of trash compactor and Anakin, like on the beach, because there's only half of me that kind of works still.
I can only give you half of me.
Oh, I didn't know if removing your lower half would be allowed or not, but
I think that's valid. The turtle wasn't really
That's
mean.
amazing.
I like the storytelling.
Yeah. I will never forget Chompy. I'm not going to lie.
Gone too
lives
soon.
lives forever. He and Jakethy. Okay,
Yes.
so I'm working with Ben here. Ben's just sitting up in this once, like frying kind of, not super deep pan kind of thing. But he's made it nice and cold. And he's sitting there and he's like looking out among his beloved jellyfish. There's this trap coming in. He just saw a poor half turtle thing die. Some sadness creeping in. He's seeing these deep ones he doesn't quite understand invading the stands and attacking people. Mass chaos everywhere. And as he's sitting there just trying to get a little bit of respite, a little bit of, a little rest, he looks around and all of a sudden a voice comes on the speaker and it says, "Enable the Venus flytraps." And just like the lighting of the beacon of Gondor, he looks around and there's multiple of these frying pans around and people are sizzling in them. And all of a sudden he feels a rumbling below his rump. And he looks across and one by one they snap up and the people just around, and it's coming to him, and all of a sudden the trigger and mechanism, he feels it coming up to enclose around him.
It's like a waffle press at a hotel.
Like a waffle press. I was thinking of waffles.
That's how you get that nice even toasting.
Yeah.
You gotta sandwich it for a bit.
Cook it from both sides.
And I mean, I want to continue on. I want to say it's going to crush you, but we got to figure out if you're going to get out of this thing. So, yeah. So.
I think, if it's in the moment of closing,
it's in the moment. It's coming up. It hasn't enclosed yet, but it's coming.
All right. Pick a card or a wild card to attempt to survive.
Yeah, I'm spoiler. I'm gonna have to do wild card this round. And in typical fashion, I'll keep it a secret. We'll all find out together.
All right, last round.
Huzzah.
Daniel, what
Make
you
it
got?
count.
Do the thing.
Okay, so, flip my card. Doo-doo. You can summon a single allied creature no larger than an elephant to aid you. So, I am going to summon a shark. And the shark is going to bolt down to this area, and it is going to plug the hole. Just plump. And it's like, head's like sticking out, and it's plugging the hole.
So it's going to aid you by just being a big old rubber stopper.
Yes, it is.
Oh man, I imagine it's like its head is like you can see its face, but like the back is still being blasted by the pennies.
Yeah.
This poor thing is just like screaming and like
Yes, and
I
then
feel like
choose to get out of there.
I feel like you would also quickly realize that this there's no water on this side, and
This shark is done for. How do you summon it though? By the way, too, is it just like a hand gesture or?
I did. I sing a sea shanty.
Oh,
There it is.
Full circle for your
Full
character.
circle. Yeah.
yeah, he actually initiated the summoning a bit ago.
yeah.
You did
Stomped in my
a while back. You knew this was going to happen. You would need to plug a hole with a shark.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So I'm a torso being flung into the doomsday scenario. Luckily, though, I am also a spirit whisperer. I can communicate with and command ghosts. The more of them I try to control, the simpler my commands must be. Luckily, however, one of the largest ghosts have just joined the community. I call out, Chompy, you're not done yet. You have to prove yourself. Save me. Redeem your legend. And the recently decapitated corpse of Chompy, which is slowly sinking to the bottom of the thing. You see like that ephemeral white kind of translucence peel off with the head restored, and he goes up and he swoops underneath me and in the center of his spiritual energies pulls me back away from all of the doomsday the doomsday madness that's happening around me.
If only I hadn't killed Chompy. That's so perfect. Dang it.
That's good.
Alright, so I'm about to be Venus flytrapped by this frying pan, squished on both sides. And I have a mystery wildcard ability to help me deal with that, which is... I'm a monk! I have dedicated my life to honing my prowess in unarmed combat. Your body is the only weapon you need. Yes. I'm now going to read the example also. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, move like water. Here comes my knee. Wow, that's pretty dope, actually.
Nice.
I would say that a life of hardened dedication and training would give me the ability. Alright, so you guys ever seen in the action movies when they jump up and they do the split kick?
Yep.
And they kick two enemies at once?
Oh, yeah.
So with my burned human legs, because I don't have arms or hands to grab anything, I'm going to jump up into the air, action movie style, and post at my feet. And through all those years of hardened monk training, I'm going to channel my focus and hold apart the mechanism that's clamping shut on me with such force that it will break. And I guess I'll go plummeting to whatever is beneath it. But I'm not squished. Yep, that's what's happening for sure, guys.
Nice.
All right.
I'm like losing air over here. You guys are making me laugh. Well, I got a double jump, you guys. I can jump off anything, including the air. Jumping on a creature's head does an inordinate amount of crushing damage. So of course, I'm going to look over and I see the half-eaten body of Jakethy. And I don't know this. I've said this a lot this game. I don't know anything that's going on. I just was here for a Marco Polo match, and Jakethy is just half-eaten. And this rage I never knew that was deep inside me just comes billowing out, and I shake as the mouth is gaping over to eat me. And I jump, my double jump off the ground, off of its head, up into the air, and the head of the creature just explodes, and just particles everywhere. And my hand turns into a blade. I'm turning into an anime character. And my hand turns into a blade, and I look down at another, or what are they called? What are those creatures called?
The old ones?
Yeah,
deep
ones. Yeah, another deep
ones
one's coming to kind of finish Jakethy. And I come down, I just slash it in half with my knife arm, and I just yell out, Marco.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do polo, like the finishing, like.
Oh no, yeah, no, I'm still waiting for someone.
Yeah,
That's true.
Respond.
Unanswered, still on your quest.
Oh!
Clearly, they don't know the rules of the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But and then I hold my arm instantly because I realize like I've just enacted an incredibly sensitive part of my body. My legs are good though, but yeah, and I just kind of slump forward again and just.
All right, amazing. I'd like to think that the rage was from your first introduction to a lot of steroids in your system.
Yeah, enchanted steroids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The pressure of being the favorite beefcake of the arena is you know.
It's a
If
heavy
you don't
toll.
live up to their expectations.
It's a heavy toll.
All right, so quick recap to sell your escape.
I summoned a shark with a sea shanty that plugged the hole.
To its great detriment.
Yeah.
All right, and I summon my my recently demised elderly turtle mount to redeem himself by rescuing me from all the terrible things, the Doomsday Protocol. That was it.
I used my monk training to take my legs and keep the collapsing trap around me from squishing me.
And I used my newly found power of double jump, and I did a little like off the ground onto the face of the deep one, and just smashed it, and came down on another one and cut it in half with my blade arm.
Double jump, double kill.
Double jump.
No.
All right. When you know who you would vote for, pick up a token. 3, 2, 1, drop them.
Oh.
All right, Huzzah King. Actually, so as the last round, you don't have to do the brief thing.
Okay.
We go straight into our final tallies.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Oh wow, Aaron.
That was close. That was real close. So, whoever has the least amount of points gets to write the ending of the story as a whole, including what happens to their character, for better or worse. But before that, everybody else, starting with the most points down, has to describe how their characters meet their inevitable end.
Yep. So, in this case, that's me. I'll get us started here. So, I'm going to give myself some credit. I'd like to imagine that my epic maneuver held off for at least a second. And then you kind of hear, like, you know, they're closing in slower and slower. You hear gears grinding, and I'm, like, looking like I'm pulling this off. And then all of a sudden, it just snaps shut and completely crushes me. So my days are done, and I didn't even save any animals. If anything, I probably caused more animal death than otherwise there would have been. So
Not a good day for the animal rights folks.
No,
Yeah.
not a good day at all.
Is it me?
yep.
Either Steven or,
Okay.
or Daniel.
Well, as I'm slumped over, holding my shoulder, breathing out heavy, just gasping for air, all of a sudden I see movement back towards the wall, and Jakethy's body starts moving again, and he looks over at me, and he's not totally gone, but his face is half ripped off, and he looks over at me, and he goes, "You didn't protect me. You weren't there for me." And his hand reaches out with one last blast, and he pushes me, and I slam all the way through the people again into a spike, and I just get impaled. And I just limp over.
Wow, that was
His
good.
obsession got the best of him. He
Yeah.
burned too many times.
This is
Yeah.
a real Carrie moment. You do not mess with the kids with mental powers.
Jakethy lives! He's the real hero!
All right. So the shark, plugged the hole in the glass, but there were so many cracks, they started to spiderweb out more and more because of all the pressure. They couldn't hold it, and it just explodes, and all the glass just comes through and just slices me just into pieces. Just
Oh my gosh.
just cuts me all into shreds. Impales me, cuts me into shreds.
All right, and the story as a whole. So, I was rescued, I thought, by the spirit of Chompy, the most elderly turtle, to make it through the Hunger Games-esque style tournament. But as he whisks me away from the Doomsday scenario, we're not going towards safety. We're going towards the center of the water. And I'm like, Chompy, no, Chompy, I can't breathe. Chompy, no. And he goes back down to where he was happiest, his little patch of kelp, his little patch of seaweed at the bottom of the arena ocean. I drown, and as my body is literally inside his little spirit presence, I out, and now I'm a torso ghost stuck to his back for all time.
Hashtag torso ghost.
Torso ghost.
This was, however, one of the most successful and exciting events that this arena has ever held, and it goes through some small renovations. It takes notes of what was really successful, definitely more noob cannon. Sharks were a little lackluster, but self-imploding domes might come back next year. That was a nice little surprise twist. And the game must go on.
The games must go on.
So as you can see, not always the happiest of endings.
And those that survived will remember this forever.
Yeah.
And Jimothy. Wait,
Jacothy?
Jacothy.
Yeah, see?
So
Yeah.
Jacothy does in fact survive, and following in his hero's footsteps, he trains hard and becomes the new grand champion of the arena.
There we go. And we at least have one positive, like,
Oh, wow.
and that's the game.
That's the game, yeah.
Nice.
So I really appreciate you guys playing Imminent Peril with me, making the time. Even when our world seems to be just getting more and more perilous day by day. Even when our favorite parks and sea-themed events turn against us. At least we have our friends, and we always have the ability to be kind.